Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Agent. Police recruitment failed. I became the sixth brother of the Military Statistics Bureau. In 1935, Lu Chen traveled through the Republic of China and became a police academy graduate, but his name was not on the major lists of the police station. So people thought that Lu Chen had failed the list, but little did they know that he had already been recruited by the Military Intelligence Investigation Department, predecessor of the Military Statistics Bureau, with an S.level rating. No background. Strategically maneuvering between Huangpu and Baoding, utilizing various resources to pave the way for oneself during his tenure, he made outstanding contributions and achieved remarkable results, breaking all previous records of the Military Investigation Department and becoming a belief of the younger generation in the military. The Military Statistics Bureau was established, and the 8 Great Vajras were appointed by imperial decree. Lu Chen ranked 6th, and his power and reputation reached their peak police academy classmate. Did you mock me back then? Hehe, meet you again. Lu Chen is already an unattainable existence for us, Captain Gong. You are our faith, and it is because of you that we fought our lives to join the Military Statistics BureauPrincipal of Special High School. This is a devil who plays with people's hearts, Lu Chen. I never expected that I would be the sixth brother of the Military Statistics Bureau. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Graduating from Police Academy and going to the national capital of Jinling. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the beginning of autumn in 1935, while driving from Hangzhou to Jinling in a convoy of military vehicles, Lu Chen's mind flipped and his emotions became complex. Unexpectedly, as a person of two generations, in the end, he still embarked on his old profession. 2 generations of people. That's right, Lu Chen is a traveler who traveled back to the Republican era. Now, he is a graduate of the Zhejiang Provincial Police School. My career after graduation is police. In his past life, he was also a police officer and a criminal investigation officer who repeatedly solved major cases. Unfortunately, he died unexpectedly during a dangerous mission. When he opened his eyes again, he had already arrived at the Republic of China and became a student in training at the Zhejiang Police Academy. After half a year of training, I graduated successfully with a good grade of first place in the 22nd regular class of Zhejiang Provincial Police Officer School. I was assigned to work at the Jinling police station in the national capital. Originally, according to his consistent idea of complaining roast, what career is better than being a policeman? It's good to be an ordinary person and live a safe life. As a result, fate is deceiving people. Even if they have traveled through time, they still cannot escape their old profession. Maybe, this is fate. The police during the Republic of China era were not as dangerous as modern police, and their level of danger was much higher than modern police. During this period, there were internal and external troubles, strong external enemies were not discussed, internal warlords were divided, and various gangs were mixed. Any task you encounter may be a fight with real weapons and knives. If you accidentally offend a certain faction or accidentally block the financial path of your superiors due to poor case handling, you may not even know how to cross the street. So, for the Republic of China Police, it is very challenging for Lu Chen to become a police officer at the Capital Bureau. Chenggu, this trip to Jinling is a bit rushed. We didn't have a chance to stay a little longer when we got home. In a hurry, we got on the military car. Hey, I was thinking about going home to have a meal or something before going to Jinling. I haven't eaten at home for almost half a year now. Zhang Guoyang, who is sitting directly opposite Lu Chen, can't help roast. Zhang Guoyang, with a national face and a small head, is a good friend of Lu Chen in the police academy, a graduate of class 1 of the regular class. It takes a day's drive from Hangzhou to Jinling, and these military jeeps were temporarily transferred from the military to use by the school. Currently, domestic and international warfare is tense, and most non-commissioned officers are involved in military affairs. They can't wait for so many people to go home and visit their families, and they designated us as the ones who rushed to take us with them. We can ride in this military vehicle because of the prestige of our powerful colleagues in the Xinka team, so let's be content. In recent years, the number of graduates from Zhejiang Provincial Police Academy has been increasing day by day, in addition to the Emperor's Pride such as the Xinka team and the Tough Relationship households. The requirements for ordinary students to work at the Jinling City Police Station are very strict. All grades must far exceed those of ordinary students in order to have the opportunity to work in the capital. Otherwise, one can only work at the police station in Hangzhou or other provincial capital cities. And Lu Chen and Zhang Guoyang were the most outstanding performers in all aspects of this ordinary class, which earned them a spot to work at the Jinling City Police Station. Upon hearing Lu Chen's words, Zhang Guoyang sighed and then seemed to have thought of something before asking, "By the way, Brother Chen, you went to Jinling City, Auntie and Xiaoya. I have already entrusted someone to take care of them. Once the work in Jinling City stabilizes, I will go back to see them regularly." Lu Chen replied. The aunt and Xiaoya mentioned by Zhang Guoyang are the mother and sister of Lu Chen. In fact, Lu Chen's family in this lifetime was originally quite warm, with loving parents and a cute and playful younger sister. But his father, Lu Feng, failed to do business outside a few years ago and owed a lot of foreign debt. In order not to implicate his family, Lu Feng did not choose to go home. Without the pillar of support, the Lu family, whose family is in decline, naturally will not have such a good life. Competitors devour family business recklessly, thugs extort and this is also the reason why Lu Chen, in this lifetime, devoted himself to the police academy. Although he could not revive his family business, he could at least provide a layer of protection for his family. Not being bullied by thugs. His original plan was to work at the Hangzhou police station, but when he learned that he had received an opportunity to join the Jinling City Police Station. My mother and sister must let Lu Chen go to Jinling to try it no matter what. We cannot give up our future just because of them. Lu Chen said 100 things, but they were stunned and didn't agree. His mother was determined to go her own way, saying that if Lu Chen didn't go, she would live in guilt for the rest of her life. Lu Chen had no choice but to agree. And he asked Fa Xiaoda to take good care of his mother and sister in Hangzhou. Before leaving, my younger sister Xiaoya was a bit reluctant, but she still tilted her head and raised her nostrils to the sky, jokingly saying, "Brother, you must make a name for yourself. Wait for you to come back and cover me up." "Definitely." Lu Chen smiled knowingly, without speaking, but silently made up his mind. Recalling all the things in my mind and family, whether it's the difference in the era environment or the reasons for family relationships. Compared to the peaceful and stable era before, in this era, Lu Chen had a strong desire for power and money. Because of this experience in the Republic of China, he deeply understood a truth. In this era, only by having power and influence can he and his family live a good life. The convoy drove south all the way, and in the evening, on the outskirts of Jinling City, the vehicle leading to the General Affairs Office, the department with the most abundant fuel and water, turned left and entered a small road. After walking forward for a while, the vehicle heading towards the police department, the department that decides the dispatch of police positions, with great power, pulled to the right and entered a special path. At the end, only 3 cars were left to drive forward. Just as they were about to reach the defense area of Jinling City and pass through a bamboo forest. Bang, bang, bang. The sound of the explosion suddenly sounded, deafening. Encountering an explosion ahead, the vehicle came to a sudden stop, and the people inside the car were like clear water in a glass container, bouncing and flipping. A person with poor balance stumbled and fell off their seat. The people in the car widened their eyes and looked at each other. Doubt, shock, and a swirling expression on the face. However, before they could react, there was a rapid sound of footsteps coming from far to near from the ground outside the car. Screaming. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. If something goes wrong, there must be a demon. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Go up and move. Not long after the car stopped, a group of people dressed in light-colored cloth outside rudely opened the car door, and countless gunshots shot in. A fiery Japanese sentence rang out, and the leader was a tall man with a mustache in the middle of his nose. With a fierce expression on his face, he commanded his subordinates to take all the people inside the car. There is a translator beside him who translates Japanese into Chinese. Hold your hands up and don't even move, just be honest and surrender. Lu Chen and his team did not resist, nor did they have the ability to resist at all. At this moment, all graduates are still in a state of confusion. Japanese. What the hell is going on here? But before they could even think it over, a hand knife hit their necks, causing everyone to faint. I don't know how long it has been. Pussy, whoa. In an empty factory building, Lu Chen and others tied to chairs were awakened by a basin of cold water. They moved their bodies and found themselves tightly bound and unable to move. In addition, their mouths were stuffed with cotton cloth and they wore opaque black headbands on their heads. I can't see anything, I can't say anything. Listening to the whimpering of his colleagues in his ear, Lu Chen shook his head, trying to wake himself up as quickly as possible. Now, like everyone else, he can't see anything and can't speak. The only thing that can be utilized is one's own hearing. What exactly is the situation with this TM? Not to mention anyone else, even this familiar historical traveler has not figured out the situation. How could such a large number of Japanese armed forces appear outside the capital city of Jinling in 1935? This is unreasonable. Dang dang dang. However, before he could think much, the sound of military boots stepping on the ground echoed in this empty factory building. From far to near, he stopped in his tracks. Lu Chen could sense the other person's position and stood not far in front of him to the left. Taichi Ono, the captain of the Japanese Army's pioneer squad, is now a prisoner of the Japanese Army's June and June. Let me introduce myself. I, Taichi Ono, am the captain of the Japanese vanguard force stationed in China. I have successfully captured all of you, and all of you present here are now my prisoners. Taichi Ono looked around and said in a proud tone. He spoke Japanese, and after he finished speaking, the translator translated what he said into Chinese. The purpose of the infiltration of private funds into Jinling City and the transportation outside Jinling City, intelligence acquisition. I'm not very fond of playing virtual games. Our purpose in infiltrating Jinling City this time is to obtain information about transportation routes outside Jinling City. What is the name, hometown, occupation, and origin of the person in Jinling? I need to say your name, hometown, occupation, and where you come from. What exactly do you need to do to go to Jinling? After saying these words, Taichi Ono gestured to his subordinates. They formed a group and untied the people from the chairs, escorting them to a row of iron buckets filled with water in front of them. Then, one left and one right, they handcuffed their left and right hands to both sides of the iron buckets. Then he pressed his head directly into the iron bucket. Pooh. Gollum. Being taken to this unfamiliar environment, covered in a black suit and unable to see anything, I was handcuffed and pressed into the water. The first instinct of a person is fear and fear. Especially when the headband is soaked in water and tightly pressed against the nose, making it difficult for you to breathe. At this moment, your adrenaline is extremely inflated, your brain is congested, and your desire for survival reaches its peak. Cough cough. Help, help. A few mentally and physically unprepared people choked on the sudden situation, coughing, shouting, and struggling. I want to resist, but it's useless. Even if it's uncomfortable or painful, I will be mercilessly pushed back into the water. Lu Chen naturally did not avoid it. He was pressed into the iron bucket, and the underwater environment also made him very uncomfortable. The unease and fear in his heart made him shiver all over. Calm down, calm down. Lu Chen forced himself to calm down. Only when his heart calmed down can he think seriously. What exactly is this situation? Are they really being hijacked by Japanese people lurking in? From being kidnapped outside Jinling city to now, the pace of every step has been too fast. It's almost out of the ordinary, just like a premeditated plan. They were not given any time to react or think. However, as long as you calm down and think carefully, you will find that the probability of island armed forces infiltrating and hijacking them simply does not exist. Jinling City is the capital of the Republic of China, and the defense outside Jinling City is so strict. How could the vanguard troops of the island country appear so grandly outside the city? And who is not good for them to hijack, but to hijack a group of newly graduated police academy graduates? This has no benefits for them. Even if there are island armed forces lurking into Jinling, this disguised armed force must have paid a huge price to enter. Spending so much effort just for a police academy graduation team. This is impossible. Moreover, from beginning to end, the other party intentionally did not give them the opportunity to observe in detail. If they were really island spies, there was no need to add such details. Just tie it up and torture it severely. It is obvious that the other party is afraid that if Lu Chen and his team keep their eyes open, they will see something. So, since they are not island troops, why do they disguise themselves as island people and intercept them outside the city? Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. This is a premeditated assessment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lu Chen's brain was rapidly running underwater, and the potential hidden in his body suddenly exploded at this moment. After crossing into this world, all the attributes of his body have doubled in strength. Double physical strength, endurance, and mental strength, including logical analysis and reasoning abilities, have also been greatly enhanced, far exceeding that of ordinary people. Various details along the way floated in his mind. The thread of the matter gradually became clear. Today, 2 days ago, there is a road ahead. One eye, the terror, is secretly suffering and dying. Now, there are 2 paths ahead of you. The first one is to die in pain in the darkness with fear. The second way is to change the flag, to serve in the Oshima Empire, to provide effective intelligence, and to pledge the reputation of imperial soldiers. It is necessary to make a living and leave it immediately. The second way is to change the string and flag, join the Empire of Oshima, and provide us with effective intelligence. I guarantee with the honor of an imperial soldier that you will leave alive, and I will also give you a generous sum of money as a reward. The side of the hand that reaches the heart is fixed, the heart is moving forward, and the instinctive hand is moving forward. Damn it! Your hands are fixed on both sides of the iron bucket, please follow your heart and instinctively tap it with your hands. Let's work together to make a strong impact. Let's see what we have to do. Your name. 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 Your name, the means of this matter are immediately put to an end. Beat the iron bucket hard to tell us that you are willing to join us, and we will immediately stop using our means against you. Knowledge is unknown. And, don't worry, your companions around you don't know who knocked on your iron bucket. Taichi Ono's magnetic voice rang out in the spacious factory building, with an orderly and undulating tone that conveyed sincere emotions. Speaking it out at this moment is very heart-stirring. Especially a group of people are suffering from painful torture, facing darkness, choking on water, unable to breathe normally, and tears streaming down their faces under boundless fear. Their only available hearing becomes particularly sensitive. At this moment, Taichi Ono's words seemed like a beam of light shining in from the abyss, making people unable to resist the urge to approach and reach out to touch. As long as they come into contact with light, they don't have to die, they don't have to suffer so much, and the crisis can be lifted immediately. Moreover, no one would know what they are doing, so there is no need to worry about self-esteem or face saving, and there is no fear of being exposed. The considerate Ono arranged it well early on. So, not long after Taichi Ono finished his sentence, 2 iron drums began to beat. Pop pop pop. Wow. When the sound of tapping came from the positions of those 2 iron buckets, their heads were lifted out of the buckets, and water splashed everywhere. Standing straight, their heavy breathing mixed with coughing sounds, they greedily absorbed the fresh air, as if they were reborn. The rest of the people were filled with envy and heart pounding upon hearing it. Ono waved his hand and asked someone to take these 2 people down first, then took advantage of the heat and said, "There will be changes in the selection process between the 2 wise individuals. Great, 2 of you have made wise choices and received new students. I have been disabled for a long time, but I have not been able to do it. I have been working hard for a long time, and I have not been able to do it. I have been working hard for a long time, but I have not been able to do it. I have been working hard for a long time, and I have not been able to do it. Use your hands to tap and tap. There's not much time left for you, opportunities are rare. If anyone else wants to live, just use your hands to tap the iron bucket that your hands touch. Pop 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 pop. Pop pop. Soon, several more people knocked on the iron bucket one after another. Even if Lu Chen's physical fitness is strong enough underwater, his breathing capacity is about to reach its limit. But at this moment, he is incredibly calm. Because at the moment when Taichi Ono asked everyone to knock on the iron bucket, he had already sorted out all the logic. The So. Called Taichi Ono and the group of armed personnel he led were not any vanguard troops lurking in from island countries. But rather our military personnel who have long received orders to plan and wait. Greet the officers driving military vehicles in advance and let them enter the designated location for explosive interception. Under the cover of black cloth, pretending to be island troops and hijacking them, in a fast-paced and tense life and death environment, the purpose is to not give them the opportunity to think. Test their loyalty in a critical moment. At first, Lu Chen was just speculating, but when Taichi Ono asked everyone to knock on the iron bucket and surrender, Lu Chen's heart became convinced. This is a carefully designed assessment. Unexpectedly, but there is also logic to explore and loopholes to find. Those who can persist until passing the assessment either have a loyal heart or strong psychological qualities combined with absolute intelligence, and remain calm in the face of danger. Regardless of which one you meet, you will be able to pass this assessment. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Tell me, a professional spy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As expected, it was as expected by Lu Chen. After taking away the person who had defected and betrayed by knocking on the iron bucket, Taichi Ono clapped his hands. Everyone was taken out of the iron bucket, taking off the black bag on their heads and the cotton cloth in their mouths. Cough cough. Puff. Cough. The intense cough was incessant, and most people drank a lot of water. They coughed and spat water, their faces pale and their expressions extremely painful. Even worse, he had already passed out in the water. The military doctor who had been guarding on the side for a long time provided emergency rescue measures, including water pressure, spitting out water, and artificial respiration. Only Lu Chen stood upright as if nothing had happened. The face is not red and the heart is not beating. After taking off the black bag, there is no hint of panic. Taichi Ono's eyes lit up as he looked at Lu Chen with a hint of appreciation. After a moment of relaxation, he scanned around and said, "Congratulations everyone, you have successfully obtained the ticket to enter Jinling." Among the remaining students present, they looked at each other in disbelief. At the same time, a puzzled expression appeared on the face. From the road to here, everything is carefully planned with the aim of testing your loyalty in extreme environments. If someone doesn't even have this meager loyalty, they are not worthy of serving in this emperor's imperial city. Ono Taichi said loudly, adding time to carefully consider under his words. Everyone just realized what's going on. I have the joy of surviving the disaster in my heart, and at the same time, I have the happiness of sticking to the bottom line. Let me introduce myself again. Jiang Chaoyang, a native of Jinling, was a reconnaissance soldier in the 8th phase of Huangpu in the 23rd year of the Republic of China. He is currently the captain of the intelligence team of the intelligence department of the Jinling Military Investigation Office, Fuxing Society, with the rank of captain. At the same time, it is also the chief examiner who brought you rookies into Jinling City before taking office. Jiang Chaoyang said as he waved his hand to the deputy behind him, who distributed a stack of documents and materials. Before officially taking office, you will also undergo a selection test. I will give different ratings based on your performance and arrange your subsequent positions according to this rating. The paper you are holding now has the assessment process written on it. After speaking, he glanced at his watch and said, "Give you 10 minutes to understand the assessment process, tidy up your appearance, and prepare to participate in the assessment." The big guys are all outstanding graduates from Zhejiang Police Academy, and their military literacy is still very strong. After hearing Jiang Chaoyang's words, they quickly made corresponding adjustments one by one. Among this group of people, Lu Chen is in the best condition, and it only took 5 minutes to familiarize himself with the entire exam process. But at this moment, his heart couldn't help but still feel nervous. Because he understands that this assessment is very important to him. The direction of future life will be determined by the results of this assessment. Since Mr. Dai became the principal of the Zhejiang Police Academy in 1932, it has gradually become a spy training center. Every year, a portion of outstanding and reliable students receive training in various spy skills, and upon graduation, they are assigned to participate in intelligence work at the Military Intelligence Bureau. What is the Military Intelligence Investigation Office? That's the predecessor of military statistics. The number one thug under the leaders during the Republic of China period was the presence of constitutional police who could supervise the military. The power and influence are so great that even the big shots in the military who hold real power are feared by 1/3. And it is a privileged department under the Military Commission's Investigation Bureau, only responsible to General Chang. If he could join such a department, Lu Chen's social status would soar to the sky. Compared to positions like police, their power and status are much higher. And now it is a period of vigorous expansion and development for the Military Intelligence Investigation Department after the reform. Valuing talents within the department, as long as they perform well enough, the Military Intelligence Investigation Department is definitely the place where they can break through the shackles of the existing system and climb the fastest. To gain power and money, the Military Intelligence Investigation Office is undoubtedly the best place for Lu Chen now. In a room inside the factory, Jiang Chaoyang and his deputy all changed into military uniforms of the party and the state. Jiang Chaoyang was puffing a cigarette in his mouth. He exhaled a mouthful of murky smoke and snorted softly, "Dongliang, do you remember what the first sentence we remember when we entered the espionage industry? Faced with Jiang Chaoyang's question, the deputy thought for a moment and replied, I remember. Jiang Chaoyang nodded and said, what is the professional life of espionage work? Loyalty. That's right, it's loyalty. Among the graduating students who were eliminated just now, nearly 80% were members of the regular science team and had participated in the training of the spy class. A fool who doesn't even understand such a basic principle, what qualifications do you have to become a spy? It was the students from those 2 regular classes who gave me an unexpected surprise and managed to persevere. Jiang Chaoyang commented and explained his views to the deputy. Upon hearing his evaluation, the adjutant also agreed. By the way, what do you plan to do with those eliminated students? How to deal with it? Naturally, where did they come from and where did they go back? Jinling, even the police station doesn't need traitors like them. At least in my hands, Jiang Chaoyang, they can't get my clearance approval. Do you need special treatment? Jiang Chaoyang threw the finished cigarette under his feet and spun it on it. He stood up and said, no need. They didn't have the face to promote the betrayal of the country and the defection to the Japanese. After speaking, Jiang Chaoyang picked up the sunglasses on the desk and put them on. Compared to those people, I am more interested in the students who stay behind. P.S. Brothers, I'm back. Friends who saw this book, remember to click on bookmark and follow it. High-rated author of espionage novels, with guaranteed quality of new books. The previous book was written for the first time, and although the grades were good, due to lack of experience, it ended hastily. The author of this book has learned many lessons and will not make the same mistake again. Many friends should have read my spy books, Agent. I became a belief in military intelligence, and joining the Secret Service, becoming a general in 3 years. Old book enthusiasts should already know the protagonist's name. How should the quality be clear, original and logical, and enjoyable? Without further ado, let's talk about the follow.up updates. Every day, when someone throws flowers, gives a review or leaves a message, they add updates. That's it. 7 days is even more guaranteed. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. The first German Engels encryption system. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After completing the preparation work, Lu Chen and others were arranged to do a series of assessments one after another. Shooting range, rifle shooting, pistol shooting, actual combat inspection in a separate telecommunications room, decipher messages. Detective ability, insight ability, and camouflage ability will be assessed one by one. Tick, tick, tick. Time passes by minute by second, and the assessment is proceeding in full swing. Lu Chen ranked 6th in sequence, and after completing the previous assessment tasks, he arrived at the final level to test logical thinking. This test is personally supervised by Jiang Chaoyang, who observes the performance of the testers inside the unidirectional glass mirror. The items placed on the table include a red-edged white paper, for strands of hair of different lengths, a Mattel watch without glass lenses, and a ruler. What you need to do is to open the 4-digit password lock in front of you in the shortest possible time. You can try and make countless mistakes, and the final score will be judged by the time it takes to open the password lock. The notary who brought Lu Chen into the room informed him of the test content and gestured for him to sit down on the chair in front of the table. He asked, "Are you ready?" After scanning the items in front of him, Lu Chen replied, "You're ready." The notary checked the time on the watch and shouted, "Test, start." At the moment when the notary shouted the order to start, Lu Chen did not take immediate action. Instead, he closed his eyes and his brain began to run rapidly. The code word of a password lock consists of 4 digits, ranging from 0 to 9. There are 10 possible choices for each position, and if you multiply 4 tens by 4 positions, there are 10,000 ways to form 4-digit numbers. If you try one by one, unless it is the arrival of the European emperor, the unlocking time required is definitely far below the passing line. That is to say, this method can pass directly. And the props they placed on the table in front of them, placed here, must be related to the numerical answers he needs. To break the password lock within a qualified time, you need to search for useful information among these items. The English name for paper is paper. The English word for hair is hair. The English name for a watch is watch. The English name for a ruler is ruler. The capital letters correspond to P, H, W, R. Can these 4 capital letters form any new words? After some thought, Lu Chen realized that no matter how he arranged and combined it, he couldn't construct a brand new word. Can we say that this hidden password is not deciphered in English, but in German? In today's society, the radio encryption methods used domestically are either the Commonwealth Dalai Lama encryption method, or the first-generation Engels encryption system used by the German military. Since we are currently testing logical thinking information, there must be a comprehensive encryption system that they have been exposed to and learned about. Otherwise, this test would be meaningless. Realizing that his direction was correct, Lu Chen attempted to translate it into German. The German word for paper is Papier. The German word for hair is Haar. The German word for a wristwatch is UHR. The German word for a ruler is linear P, H, U, L. The beginning of 4 words in German cannot be combined into one German word. Lu Chen pondered and thought. In English and German, P and H are repeated opening letters. pH represents the acid-base value, while HP is an abbreviation for a phrase with multiple meanings. pH can be equal to high position, representing the angle of the high cabinet. pH can be equal to horse's power, which is a unit of British horsepower, health point game health, or high power, which is a ground inspection level inspection. Lu Chen was experiencing a brainstorming session as he opened his eyes and gazed at the neatly arranged paper and ruler in front of him. Slowly lower your head and observe the distance between it and the watch from a level angle. Combined with the 4 hair strands of varying lengths in front, my eyes lit up. If the meanings indicated by P and H are high perspective, then the German codes U and L represent the special terminology-specific abbreviations UL. Cartesius, Cartesian Coordinate System. Everything will make sense. The intersection point of the lower left corner of the rectangular red bar on white paper can be used as the XY axis of the Cartesian coordinate system, with a length of 22 cm on the long side and 12 cm on the short side. Lu Chen measured the length of 4 hair strands with a ruler and found that the shortest hair strand was also over 12 cm, but all were shorter than 22 cm. Following this train of thought, Lu Chen finally understood why the watch on the table was a Mattel brand, and it didn't have glass lenses yet, with needles and threads exposed. Because this brand of watch is currently the most powerful watch on the market, it has been tested with hair during advertising campaigns. Tie the hair firmly onto the second hand, and its power can easily tear the hair. All of this is a logical idea that has been prepared for a long time, with traces to follow. After drawing this series of conclusions, Lu Chen was confident and no longer hesitated. Pick up the first strand of hair and fix one end to the right angle point on the white paper red strip, while using special and delicate methods to tie the hair onto the second hand of the wristwatch that has been adjusted and fixed at a right angle. 3 needles point at 12 o'clock, corresponding to 2 right angles in the Cartesian coordinate system of the white paper and red bar, and then let the second hand move. Tick, tick, tick. As the second hand moves, the hair is stretched, and when it reaches its limit, it breaks. At the break point, Lu Chen noted the number pointed by the second hand. Then take the second strand of hair and repeat the operation. The third and fourth roots. The length of the hair is different, and the length it points to when it breaks is also different. Finally, 4 numbers are obtained. 1, 2, 4, 5. 4 numbers correspond to the 4 positions of the password lock, with a total of 24 permutations and combinations of 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Lu Chen tried the numbers corresponding to the original arrangement of hair strands from left to right first. The answer is incorrect, and then I tried again from right to left. 5, 4, 2, 1. Lu Chen entered the password. Click. With a crisp popping sound, the password lock in front of me opened. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. Congratulations on obtaining an S.level rating. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Squeak. While Lu Chen opened the password lock, Jiang Chaoyang stepped on the key and entered the room. He held a timepiece specifically designed for timing, glanced at the reading, and smiled, saying, 2 minutes and 3 seconds. This is the best performance among all students since Mr. Dai took over as the principal of Zhejiang Police in 1932. The record is kept for a Det International student from the regular science class in April last year, with a duration of 3 minutes and 16 seconds. You are 1 minute and 13 seconds faster than him. Not bad, very good. Looking at Lu Chen with a dignified posture and a handsome appearance in front of him, Jiang Chaoyang generously praised him. In the initial loyalty testing phase, Lu Chen's outstanding performance had already caught his attention. And now, this final level is also the logical thinking level that he values the most, and Lu Chen has also given him an incredible surprise. Name: Lu Chen, age 22, native place: Hangzhou, Zhejiang Province. Firearms: Jia Xia, fighting. Jia Zhong, investigation. Jia Zhong, disguise. Yi Shang, teletranslation. Yi Zhong, criminal investigation. Jia Shang, asterisk note. S+. Jiang Chaoyang read out Lu Chen's academic report and noted an S in the criminal investigation, logic, section of Lu Chen's final lesson. I remember the students in the regular class of Zhejiang Police School didn't have courses on electronic translation and disguise, did they? The person who came with you, Zhang Guoyang, failed both of these courses, Ding Xiao. Jiang Chaoyang asked with suspicion, with a hint of examining the human heart. This is the most tense period of the relationship between the red and blue parties, with underground parties penetrating everywhere and many members infiltrating their military academies. And a large part of these infiltrating underground party members are those who have received training in Yutra and have achieved excellent results in all aspects. So, even if they have already investigated Lu Chen's background, it is inevitable that they will need to test it in the end. Faced with Jiang Chaoyang's questioning, Lu Chen's expression remained unchanged, with a hint of exaggerated contempt on his face. With a soft snort, he said, "If I had taken a disguise course and received systematic training in electronic translation, I wouldn't have only achieved a second grade in these 2 courses." Listening to Lu Chen's confident and even somewhat arrogant answer, Jiang Chaoyang chuckled. Self-study to succeed. Have you read books on this topic? Lu Chen turned his face and nodded. It seems that you disdain to answer my question, but it's also true. A genius like you is born to be the one who eats our bowl of food. Making you study in a regular class is a waste of time. The bad morals in the police academy are disgusting. Jiang Chaoyang was indignant about it. As insiders know, the members of the police academy's disciplinary team are mostly related households who have connections. In police academies, many people with real talents and knowledge are often overlooked and declined due to the lack of a knocking brick. Excellent students like Lu Chen would not have had the chance to participate in the talent selection process of the Military Intelligence Investigation Office if it weren't for the mandatory requirement of having a few spots in each regular class under covert operation. In a big dying vat like the Republic of China, bureaucratic interests and a complex network of relationship interests make it difficult for ordinary people to stand out. Jiang Chaoyang, on the other hand, is a clear stream in this era, appreciating his talent and admiring heroes. I don't want to watch the corruption of the party and government and the loss of talent, so I do my best to actively invite myself to serve as an assessment and review officer. He believes that the significance and value of his existence is to eliminate the incompetent and select talents to enter the party state system. So when he saw excellent grassroots like Lu Chen, his eyes were shining. Jiang Chaoyang said, placing a stamped employment notice on the table, "Congratulations, you have passed all the assessments and become a qualified spy." Grunt. Upon hearing this, Lu Chen felt a little excited in his heart. He stood up and took a standard military posture. "Thank you, sir." Jiang Chaoyang smiled and patted Lu Chen's shoulder. "You don't need to thank me. If you want to thank me, you should thank yourself. I went to the Military Intelligence Bureau and worked hard. I'll keep an eye on you." "Yes." Upon hearing this, Lu Chen felt a sense of joy in his heart. He stood at attention, saluted, and shouted loudly. Jiang Chaoyang didn't say anything more about this, gesturing for the deputy to take Lu Chen down to arrange the next task, while he continued to review the next team member. So, Lu Chen was taken by the deputy to a military vehicle parked on the empty ground at the back door of the factory. At this moment, there were 7 people sitting in the military vehicle, all of whom had passed the assessment in front of Lu Chen and were able to smoothly enter the Military Intelligence Investigation Office. And among this group of people, there was no presence of Zhang Guoyang. Zhang Guoyang ranked ahead of him in the assessment order, and without him in the car, it means that Zhang Guoyang's performance did not pass the assessment. Those who have not passed the assessment by the Military Investigation Department will be transferred to the Jinling police station according to their original allocation. Although Lu Chen felt regretful, he was also helpless. This brother, why are you so unfamiliar? He's a regular class student. The top 7 are either the elites in the Zhenke team or the top performers in the crash course. They have all taken classes together and are quite familiar with each other. But Lu Chen is just a regular class student, and they don't have much impression of him, so it's quite surprising. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. On the horizontal plaque. Xing Special Service Office, New. You are listening at novel full.audio. Although the other party's tone of somewhat disdainful in such an accident is uncomfortable. However, as the saying goes, reaching out and not hitting a smiling person, let alone the other person, is still a colleague you will be interacting with in the future. Lu Chen didn't pay much attention to this detail and nodded with a smile, saying, "Yes, regular class 1, Lu Chen." It's amazing. In such an assessment, it's really rare for students from regular classes to make it through. Mr. Lu must be an extremely excellent existence. Yeah, in the future, everyone will be brothers who live in the same place, so there's no need to be too reserved. They are all classmates from the same class, waiting for each other to pass. Ordinary class, those of your classmates don't even know that you participated in this secret assessment by the Military Intelligence Bureau. When they don't see you on the police station's onboarding list, they might think you've been brushed off by the police station. After learning that Lu Chen was a regular class student, several members of the regular science team in the car immediately lost their desire to communicate. The people in the crash course were quite enthusiastic, and they made a lot of polite remarks and even made a small joke on their appearance. However, soon they also lost interest in Lu Chen, and a group of people in the car discussed matters related to the Military Intelligence Investigation Office. "Brothers, do you have any internal information? What kind of place is this Military Intelligence Investigation Office? It is said to be a quite mysterious place, only responsible to the leader." Hi. But intelligence work is also considered frontline work, and the danger is still quite high. The ones who are truly labor-saving and pleasing are the brothers who went to the Internal Affairs Office to salvage oil and water and the police department to manage the deployment of police officers. Humph, what's so enviable about this? They all rely on connections to get into places like that. We rely on real talent and materials, can we be the same? And there have been rumors circulating within our school about the military investigation department. Those who graduated from the police academy and went to work in the police department, no matter how advanced, are still just police officers. No matter what the police position is, I'm afraid of soldiers with guns in their pockets. But the personnel of the military investigation department are different. They can not only handle government affairs and police affairs, but also intervene in military affairs within the military. You have the right to act first and then report later. With a warrant issued, no matter what your position in the military is, you can catch it without fail. Is it so powerful? Yeah, I've heard about it a long time ago. In the military and police, the military investigation department is like the Yanwang Palace, and everyone is afraid of it. The rights it exercises are equivalent to the rights of a first-class sword guard in the past, just like the royal guards in the past, you know. I know. And here, there are far more opportunities than police officers. Our onboarding status is quite unique now, and they don't even know what we're doing. When we do a good job in the future, we'll be able to stand out in front of those old classmates, Hehe. A group of people were chatting happily, and after Lu Chen got on the car, another member of the Jinling team got on. A total of 8 people passed the assessment. After all the personnel arrived, the car started and headed towards Jinling city. The road was boring, and Lu Chen happened to be unfamiliar with many things about the Military Intelligence Investigation Office. Listening to their discussions, he had a rough outline of the Military Intelligence Investigation Office. It seems that in this era, the influence of the Military Intelligence Investigation Office is much greater than what I previously learned in history books. Listening to the conversation along the way, I didn't feel bored either. For a long time, the military vehicle should have entered the city and drove onto a smooth green brick road. The bumpy feeling disappeared and was replaced by the noisy noise in the streets and alleys, mixed with the sound of tricycles and rickshaws pulling the car, and the clanking of bells on the car. In the afternoon, the military vehicle stopped at the entrance of a large courtyard with white walls and black tiles. The commander in front of the vehicle signaled 8 team members to get off the vehicle and queue up to enter the courtyard. The courtyard is very large, with green bamboo planted on both sides. On the west side, there is a medium-sized lotus pond decorated with lotus flowers, and the scenery is very beautiful. The office building is located facing south and north, directly north of them. There is an open space for parking vehicles on the left and right sides of its entrance, a place for queuing on the school field, and a neat playground. All facilities are fully equipped. The closer you get to the office building, the more you can feel its towering and majestic demeanor. The 2 pillars stand upright at the entrance, and a vertical plaque reads, Investigation and Statistics Department of the National Military Commission on the horizontal plaque. Special Affairs Office of Xing Society, stand at attention. At the foot of the stairs downstairs of the office building, a group of people lined up to pay their respects and greet the officer. A major officer slowly walked out of the office building with a smile and a wave of his hand behind him, and everyone put down their respectful hands. Welcome to join us, new colleagues. Before you arrived, Captain Jiang had already sent your transcripts via telegram to the confidential telecommunications office. My superiors have assigned you based on your situation. Next, I will announce your employment assignment and give you a brief introduction report on the situation of the Military Intelligence Investigation Department. The Military Intelligence Investigation Department has a total of 3 departments and 8 departments, with the Intelligence Department, Telecommunications Department, and Operations Department as the center. Among them, the Intelligence Department has the most elite members, responsible for carrying out corresponding intelligence work. The Operations Department is the main executor, with the most members, and has 3 operational teams and 9 operational teams under its jurisdiction. Lu Chen and 8 others were assigned to one of these 3 departments. In the assessment, 2 team members from Class A and Class A went to the telecommunications department. 2 members with excellent fighting and shooting skills, but with a hint of Baoding style, scent, in their identity background, were assigned to the action department. Lu Chen and the remaining 3 members of the regular science team were assigned to the flagship department of the Military Intelligence Investigation Department, the Intelligence Department, which is the legitimate department of Boss Dai. The Zhejiang Police Academy itself is owned by Mr. Dai, now managed by Mr. Mao, and its school trains elite spies with the aim of expanding its own strength and cultivating talented confidants for its own use. Therefore, the 4 individuals with clean backgrounds and outstanding achievements naturally entered the intelligence department. The other 3, due to their background in the Imperial Academy, initially held the rank of lieutenant upon joining the army. As for Lu Chen, who was in the ordinary class and came from a relatively low background, he was promoted to the rank of sergeant under the special approval of his superiors by Jiang Chaoyang. Otherwise, he would only be a sergeant. P.S. Some big shots may not have read military articles before, so I am sending you my rank level. In March 1935, which is now written as a military rank that has just been reformed for less than half a year. The rank level is a total of 6 grades and 18 levels, arranged from high to low. General, Special General, First General, Second General, Major General, Major General. Colonel, Colonel, Lieutenant Colonel, Major Lieutenant. Captain, Lieutenant, Second Lieutenant, Brigadier General Sergeant, Non-Commissioned Officer. Sergeant, Sergeant, Corporal Soldiers. Private, First Class, Second Class. Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. Light, forever only exists on the surface. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the office of the head of the intelligence department, the people under my command are reporting their work to the head of the department and to Beihua. One of the work reports is about the situation of Zhejiang police officers visiting the Military Intelligence Investigation Office. When I heard that only 8 people had passed the assessment and joined the Military Investigation Department in this episode, and 13 people had successfully joined the police station, I frowned at Beihua. What are you saying? There are 67 outstanding graduates on the list for this trip to Jinling City, and in the end, only 21 are left. The officer who reported to his subordinates nodded and replied, yes, Captain Jiang is notorious for being strict, so. Upon hearing the name Jiang Chaoyang, Xiang Beihua breathed a sigh of relief, clearly feeling a bit headache for this guy as well. Who should I be? It turns out that Jiang Chaoyang did a good job. The reporting officer smiled slightly and said, Hehe, Chief, Captain Jiang is also wholeheartedly dedicated to the party and the country. He explained on his report that those who were eliminated were all soft bones with weak beliefs. Upon hearing this, he nodded to Beihua and roughly understood the situation. Jiang Chaoyang is the person he brought out alone, and Xiang Beihua knows his style of conduct. If nothing unexpected happens, those people should have been driven back to Hangzhou by him, right? Yes, Captain Jiang did not provide any tools, even the slightest bit of supplies, to allow them to return on foot. Ha ha ha. Xiang Beihua smiled, this Jiang Chaoyang is still the same as before, it hasn't changed at all. The reporting officer smiled in agreement and then asked in a timely manner, Chief, a large part of these people are secret agents trained by the party and the state with energy and money. Let them go back like this, that's a waste of choose was hard work and dedication. Upon hearing his subordinate's words, he nodded to Beihua and said, of course, we cannot let them go back. We have worked hard to train them for more than half a year. How could we easily give up like this? Although these guys are prone to betrayal, they still have their own value in the end. The loyalty assessment for entering Jinling City failed, and they cannot hold positions in the political organs of Jinling. However, they can still serve the intelligence department of the military investigation department for the party and the country. The members of the intelligence department are not only responsible for obtaining important information, but also for a dirty and heavy job, which is assassination. In recent years, the reputation of the Military Intelligence Investigation Office has expanded rapidly, and its notorious reputation has been feared by many major forces. In addition to being shaped by the times and born with the times, its arrest and assassination activities are spread throughout the country, which is chilling and greatly enhances its reputation, naturally expanding its influence. And in various assassination operations, there are outstanding elites among the members of the assassination, as well as rookies who rely solely on their passion. However, regardless of the type, the assassination operation will never be smooth sailing, and there will be constant casualties during the process. It can almost be said that if you make a mistake, you will surrender if you don't die. Adhering to faith without fear of life and death, such a person's sacrifice is a loss to the military investigation department. As for those who will surrender if the mission fails, there is not much regret for the military investigation department. After all, these people have been chess pieces from the beginning, and the Military Intelligence Bureau has not coveted them with high hopes and will not disclose too much secrets to them. And for these students who failed the loyalty assessment and were driven back, the assassination mission is the most suitable for them. Because there are always people among them who can complete tasks of all sizes, complete tasks, and earn blood. Mission failure, death and demotion are nothing more than becoming abandoned children. Anyway, from the beginning, they were just the group of people who were brushed off, just being used as waste. Of course, this is the interpretation from the perspective of the Military Intelligence Investigation Department. It may sound cruel, but this is reality. Being associated with this dark kingdom, no one can be alone. Light always exists only on the surface. If there is no transportation from the suburbs of Jinling to Hangzhou, it will take at least a day to reach Hangzhou. Xiao Wei, you should immediately lead people and pick them up. Take them to the concentration center, and 1 month later, assign them for the exam and carry out the task. Yes. After receiving the task, the officer stood at attention and saluted, hurriedly going out to prepare instructions for the North China Army. Watching his subordinates go out, he picked up a teacup and took a sip of tea from Beihua. He lay back, leaning against a chair. I picked up a stack of documents and flipped through them casually. These materials are detailed information about the students who have entered the Military Intelligence Investigation Office, including various assessment scores. On the comprehensive table, there is also a ranking sequence for 8 people based on their comprehensive scores. And when he saw this table, a hint of surprise appeared on his somewhat lazy and relaxed face. Oh. Open your eyes slightly and examine carefully. After confirming that the student with the highest comprehensive score is a regular class student. Xiang Beihua also nodded with a light smile. It is not easy for students from regular classes to enter the Military Investigation Office, and the top-ranked student this time is a regular class student. And behind it, there is a special note from Jiang Chaoyang giving him a level evaluation of criminal investigation logic. It's the first time I've seen Jiang Chaoyang give such a high rating to someone. It seems that this kid named Lu Chen is a bit interesting. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Coordination and Cooperation, Jointly Advancing Together, New Book. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After assigning the work, the officer had someone take everyone to the logistics office to collect his military uniform. This type of military uniform is completely different from police uniform, it is more lightweight than police uniform, and from a psychological perspective. Wearing this military uniform can bring a stronger sense of confidence and excitement to people. In addition to the matching sergeant uniforms, each sergeant also has a brand new Zhongshan suit, which is convenient for them to use when performing undercover tasks offline. The equipped pistol is a PPK pistol produced by the DeWalt factory, loaded with Browning 7.65 pistol bullets. Unlike the Browning of a lieutenant colonel, this gun is small and delicate, easy to hide, and has a simple structure that is not prone to malfunctions, making it highly accurate in close combat. Very suitable for frontline intelligence personnel to carry with them. Lu Chen also used this gun when he was at the police academy, and he is quite familiar with its properties. After tidying up their mountain military uniforms, they can also be considered as formal members of the Military Intelligence Investigation Office. The next step is for the lieutenant colonels of each subject to take people to the corresponding departments to report. Lu Chen and a lieutenant named Qi Sheng were assigned to the third team of the intelligence department, with the captain Pan Renxiang. Pan Renxiang is 30 years old and has a slightly shapely figure, with a fat head and big ears, and a relatively short stature. Having a scruffy beard and not paying too much attention to one's own image. But he was quite enthusiastic in his treatment of people. Two of you, welcome to the Intelligence Department Group 1 and 3. I am Captain Pan Renxiang. These two are Vice Captain Lu Neng and Chen Do. And they are all members of the Intelligence Department, Ahu, Fang Qin. This is a technical personnel specifically responsible for surveying. Many of the intelligence monitored by our Intelligence Department were discovered by her, and the rest are. Pan Renxiang introduced them one by one, and both Lu Chen and Qi Sheng were humble and polite, greeting each other one by one. After a round trip, it can be considered that you have recognized a newcomer and can start working. Finally, Pan Renxiang asked the elderly in the three teams to explain the specific situation to them and led the two to understand the relevant basic content. Our intelligence department is the most complex department within the Military Intelligence Investigation Office, with various personnel details and scheduling. Just as you see sitting in an office working, there are various contents such as replies, telecommunications, search, investigation, and monitoring. But its main purpose is consistent, which is to obtain the intelligence we need, useful intelligence. I don't know what so-called effective intelligence is elsewhere, but it's at the Jinling Military Intelligence Investigation Office. There are only two useful pieces of intelligence. Firstly, there is information about Japanese spies, and secondly, there is information about underground parties. Among them, the intelligence of island country spies is currently a top priority, and our focus is to obtain the intelligence of island country spies hidden in Jinling City. Capture the scent they leave in this city, follow their scent, find them, and get what we need from them. The team member who led them maintained a consistent style of being swift and efficient in their work. While explaining to the two what the core of the intelligence department should do, I personally demonstrated to them the work projects they need to do in the future. You are newcomers, and we cannot do tasks such as telecommunications monitoring and responding yet. Let's start with the most basic investigation. This is the desk where you will be working from behind. Have you seen these files on the desk? These are the information and intelligence that the regular spies in the lower department have collected and delivered for 3 days. What you need to do is to find the most suspicious and likely to discover island country spies among these mixed information and intelligence. Report it to the action department and coordinate with them to complete the task. The other party spoke concisely, and the two of them easily understood the main point. After speaking, the other party gave a "do it well" smile and then returned to their desk, brewed a cup of goji berry and chrysanthemum tea, and drank tea to review the manuscript. The two of them didn't dare to slack off when they first arrived, so they came to their desks and placed some personal items, and directly entered the working state. After finishing work in the evening, Lu Chen had already inquired and found out that the Military Intelligence Investigation Department is a special institutional department and does not have collective dormitories. Most of them are private rentals, and under the guidance of their predecessors, Lu Chen and Qi Sheng found a military management area in the nearby area. The houses in this area are usually only rented out to military officers, with a livable environment and relatively affordable prices. So, I settled down in my residence and worked for a few days at the Military Intelligence Bureau, With Lu Chen's intentional attention, he learned about the main framework structure of the Military Intelligence Investigation Office and the situation of various departments. If we compare the Jinling Military Intelligence Investigation Office to a human body, the General Affairs Department with Boss Dai as the core is the brain of the human body, coordinating and commanding. The Intelligence and Telecommunications Departments are the eyes and ears of this organism, transmitting the information they hear and see to the General Affairs Department. And the Action Department is the hands and feet of the body, responsible for capturing actions and executing action instructions. Therefore, many officers in the Operations Department come from Huangpu students under the Baoding clique, and the operational team members under their command are mostly selected soldiers from the military. The Machine Department, the Criminal Investigation and Interrogation Department, and the Registered Residence Archives are the internal organs of the body. The Final Equipment Department is the department that supplies external armor and weapons to the body. Each major department is well equipped, performing different functions, and coordinating cooperation to work together towards a common goal. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10. White face and black teeth, a symbol of the aristocracy of the island country. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On this day, Lu Chen went through the routine of flipping through the intelligence information sent by his subordinate departments. One of the pieces of intelligence caught his attention. This intelligence was transmitted from the Criminal Investigation Department of Xicheng Police Station. Xicheng is located in a remote area, relatively backward, with few buildings and many abandoned mountain cemeteries. 2 days ago, a local alcoholic drank until midnight and got drunk on the bumpy road while rushing home. Passing by the small path next to the cemetery, I fell asleep leaning against a tree because I was so tired. When he squinted for a while and opened his eyes, he found that the surroundings were as bright as daylight. But this kind of brightness is not as bright as during the day, but rather a chilly and hazy brightness, with a strange fragrance emanating from it. Flashing and dimming, when he stood up and looked towards the distant mountain. This person was so frightened that he woke up instantly from drinking. What did he see? I saw a ghostly fire fluttering in the middle of the grave, alternating blue and green. And next to the ghostly fire, with the help of light, he also saw a figure with a white face and black teeth, looking at him from above. Seeing this, the drunkard crawled and ran towards home, shouting for help all the way. I arrived at the police station early the next morning to report the case. When the police station heard the report, it was reported that he was haunted, and in addition, he was also a well-known local alcoholic. Did you see a ghost in the cemetery after drinking? This inevitably raises suspicions whether this guy drank too much after drinking and couldn't even distinguish between reality and illusion. But this drunkard is very certain that he was in a clear state at the time, he just ran into a ghost. Determined not to withdraw the lawsuit, resolutely report the case. The officers of the Xicheng police station were helpless and sent 2 people to stroll around the tomb mountain, but they found nothing. The drunkard also suggested that the police go around the cemetery at night, which made the police almost arrest the drunkard. Who is sick at night and will run to the grave mountain to find ghosts for you? Who do you think you are? Eating and eating leisurely. So, the drunkard was kicked out of the police station. The people from the police station's office found this matter interesting. Coincidentally, they organize some cases and events that do not conform to common sense every 3 days and submit them to the Military Intelligence Investigation Office as a task for the school entrance examination. So he reported this situation. Upon seeing this intelligence, the sensitive Lu Chen immediately realized something was wrong. There are 2 very important key points, the stress response of the drunkard and the facial state of the figure on the mountain. From the text described above, it can be seen that an alcoholic cannot intentionally cause trouble, it must be a serious matter. Otherwise, going to the police station to ask for trouble will not benefit him in any way. The second point is the description of what is seen, and the blue and green ghostly fire clusters are not a big deal. What caught Lu Chen's attention were the 4 words white face and black teeth. In the land of China, there are many legends of ghosts and monsters circulating among the people. It is not uncommon to encounter white phosphorus spontaneous combustion, ghostly fire, on the mountain in hot summer weather. Some even depict blue-faced fangs and bizarre solitary ghosts and wild souls. However, the term white face and black teeth, especially when used to describe black teeth, has hardly been used so far. The description of white face and black teeth has been repeatedly mentioned in the Adagawa logs of the island country. During the Heian period of the island nation, black teeth represented a symbol of noble status and status. Paired with white face and shaved eyebrows, they were the most famous, beautiful attire of Japanese aristocratic women at that time. However, with the enlightenment of new ideas, this custom was gradually abandoned in the 19th century, and at this stage, it is rare for people to dye black teeth. Rarely does it mean that there is none, and a considerable number of island country traditionalists still maintain this custom. And in participating in this long-planned war between the island nation and China, many of the island nation's vanguards came from various aristocrats. These people have received specialized training and infiltrated China to obtain the necessary pre-war intelligence for their own side. Thinking that this case was highly likely to involve island spies, Lu Chen highlighted the intelligence in red and attached detailed notes afterwards. Subsequently, he summarized the intelligence he deemed valuable from the past 2 days and brought the documents to the captain's office. The Intelligence Department captain-level office is shared by 2 deputy captains and their civilian lieutenants. When Lu Chen arrived at the office, Captain Pan Renxiang was not present. However, according to the normal process, even if the team leader is present, he cannot report beyond his level. Instead, he needs to hand over the reporting information to the deputy team leader in charge, Lu Ning. Report, Captain Lu, this is the intelligence compiled over the past 2 days. Please take a look. Lu Chen placed the document in front of Lu Ning's desk. Lu Ning picked up the document, flipped through it, and his gaze paused for a moment in Lu Chen's highlighted, drunkard, intelligence column. Pop. He closed the folder and threw the information aside, then let out a breath. These bastards below are getting more and more confused now. In order to get some bounty, any kind of intelligence can be reported. The previous market buying and selling of chickens, ducks, fish, and so on has been abandoned, but now even demons and ghosts have emerged. Lu Ning rubbed his temples for a while and said angrily. Anyone can hear this, on the surface it's cursing the undercover agents, but in reality it's pointing fingers and cursing locusts, along with Lu Chen. After selecting for so long, have you only picked so much junk information? Lu Ning was a graduate of the 9th cohort of Huangpu in the 24th year of the Republic of China. Upon graduation, he became a 2nd lieutenant and deputy captain. In my heart, I am a very arrogant person, thinking that I am a disciple of the emperor, and working in this intelligence department also requires me to be superior. Especially when facing many graduates from police academies and spy training classes here, they always carry a sense of superiority. At first, he didn't have many opinions about Lu Chen, but when he saw the intelligence compiled by Lu Chen. At the end of many places, there were actually many detailed notes added, which made Lu Ning very unhappy. Who do you look down on? Do you need a note? If it were a normal leader, they would not care about this, but rather feel that their subordinates are meticulous in their work. But for Lu Ning, who was wearing colored glasses, seeing this made his thoughts completely different. Therefore, he immediately put on his face. Lu Ning's words also made Lu Chen quite unhappy, but as a person of 2 generations, he still worked in government agencies. Lu Chen understood the principle of judging the situation, understanding his own situation, and doing what he should do. There was no change in expression on his face, nor did he refute Lu Ning, so he stood quietly. He even added, I understand now. I will deduct all their bounty later. Upon hearing this, Lu Ning choked for a moment and looked at Lu Chen with a somewhat incredulous expression. Is this kid really unable to understand, or is he pretending to not understand? Did I scold you? If it weren't for the fact that you have just started working, you would have wanted to directly point out and curse. Why are you still saying that you're going to deduct the bounty from the people below? Lu Chen's words were naturally a dark criticism of Lu Ning. He couldn't confront them openly. It's not easy to pretend to be a novice in Mandarin. Vice Captain Chen Do, who was sitting at a table across the aisle, felt a slight tension in the atmosphere. He waved his hand with a smile and said, "Lu Chen, you just graduated and haven't taken over this job long. The ability to detect information still needs improvement. Alright, you go down first. Next time, pay attention and carefully observe and filter, don't let those guys below have the opportunity to speculate and cheat. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.